Brian Ference. You can follow me on X at BrianFerence1 or magamindpodcast.com. Today I'm hosting an X space, and I'm going to go ahead and start that space in just a second. But it's going to be on this new development in the X Creator program. A lot of creators had their accounts paused. So I'm going to go ahead and start that space. I'm running that off of my phone. Ooh. Let's see, skip that. All right, I want to make sure that my mic is on, and it is. All right, so again, Brian Ference is my name. You can follow me on X at BrianFerence1. I did start an X space. It's pause for X creator revenue sharing. Big influencers seem to be untouched. So I'll give just a little bit of time to see if we can get anyone to join in there. I did notice I scheduled mine like an hour and a half in advance, and as soon as that happened, someone else started a space to talk about it, and a bunch of people went into that. So stealing my thunder just a little bit, but that's all right. Let's see here. I'm going to just invite some people to this. All right, I did see that someone joined. Looks like Made in America is there. How are you, Made in America? I want to invite you to speak. And we've got a couple other listeners starting to come in. Looks like Hover's there. I'm going to approve you both. Is my audio okay? You should be able to be approved as a speaker in just a second. Hey, Hover, I see you there. I think you're muted right now. And Made in America, you should have gotten an invite in order to be able to speak. So we'll just give them a minute or so for them to join. Let me, while I'm doing that, pull something up here. And then we'll get started. So please do share this if you want to share and repost this. Did you say something, Hover?
No, I just opened my mic.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, please do share and repost this. The way we were going to start off is I was just going to talk a little bit about my experience first, and then I'm going to open it up for other people. Let's see. Let me go back to a couple of these screenshots. All right, I did see someone else joined. It's I don't know if it's Gobble. I'll invite you to speak too. So what we'll do, we'll try to go in order a little bit. I'm going to start us off. So again, my name is Brian Ference. I was approved to the X Creator program a little while ago. I'm looking in my account, my monetization account. Yeah, it of course wiped it out when it said it was paused. But I've gotten, I believe, 3 or 4 creator payments. I've been in it for, I don't know, two months or so. I did want to talk a little bit about my profile because so the message that I got from X, and it was probably the same that everyone got. Let's see. It basically just said you're being paused for creator revenue sharing. And, you know, I did submit an appeal on that. I understand it's pretty widespread. There's quite a few people that it's affecting. And then I did send an email also to monetization at Twitter, I believe it was at twitter.com. Let me see if I can pull up the email that X sent me. Let's see. Anyways, just talking about my account. So I have about, oh yeah, here it is. So it was an email with the subject X creator revenue sharing paused. And it said your account at Brian Ference 1 has been temporarily paused for creator revenue sharing, as we suspect there may have been a breach to our creator monetization standards. The cause was violated monetization terms of service. So I, of course, reviewed that. There is no violation. I haven't violated any of it. My account is, very, very clean. I make original content, investigative journalism, original videos. So I have no idea what they're talking about, and I did appeal it. I understand a lot of other people have been, paused as well, and you just have to appeal and wait. But meanwhile, it looks like a bunch of the larger influencer accounts are just completely untouched, and they continue to just post, one-liners, good morning, repost Fox videos, Fox News videos, reply guy stuff, not really adding any content or value. That's technically a violation of their terms of service. So I'm a little bit pissed off, frankly, that, I'm paying for this account. There's supposed to be better support. It was just thousands were just wiped out for no reason. No details are given. And that's kind of my experience. So either Hover or Made in America, if either of you want to unmute and let us know, first of all, if you're a creator, if you were approved, how long you've been in the program, if you were paused, and kind of what the situation was.
Made America, you go first.
Made in America, can you hear us? I don't know if you're unmuted or not. It doesn't look like you're muted to me, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, just go in and out of the space, America.
And give that a try. Also, while that's happening, Alpha and Gobbler, I did send you a request if you want to speak, invited you to speak, so take a look at that. Hover, if you want to, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I joined X because I want to be a part of a community, part of a crypto community. I made some posts, I interacted with the community, and because it's a strong community, I got some engagement. Mm-hmm. And somehow I heard about, hey, you can make money on X. So I researched, how can I make money on X? I found out it was easy enough to get monetized. I got monetized. I earned 2 payouts, but then I found out that bots can follow you. So I had 2,200 followers. I removed all my followers to 1,300, and I stopped getting payouts. Mm-hmm. Because I believe that you need to have 2,000 followers to get payouts. So I'm almost on that journey. I didn't get demonetized because I think that I didn't do anything wrong. I think X is trying to sort everyone. They don't want some people to get monetized, and I think they're just doing a hard reset on the majority of the people because some people really don't deserve to be monetized. So they just want to make this hard reset. And I hope they will restore it because now they're just shooting themselves in the foot because they have paused so many original creators. Mm-hmm. And it will only hurt premium subscription, the amount of people subscribing to the premium. It will just hurt that. So they have to do the right thing.
Yeah, that's a good point, Hover. And I do have a couple follow-up questions for you. Are you? I'll share some of my statistics first of all. So I'm in my X premium statistics, and I'm gonna talk about impressions first, and then I'll talk about engagement. So if you look at my 3-month total for impressions, okay, so 3-month total of impressions, I have 8.2 million impressions, which is well above the required 5 million, right, for a 3-month period of time. And in the last 7 days, I have 667,000 impressions, okay? And then I want to talk about the engagements, right? So engagements, if I look at the 3-month total for engagements, I have 301,000 engagements in a 3-month total. And then in the 7-day total, I have 18,000 engagements, which is actually a little bit lower, for me than normal. But anyways, so can you share, if you're willing to, cover some of your
Yes.
impressions and engagements as well?
Yes. My 3 month impressions is 3.7 million. My engagement is 121k, 21,000. If you understand that, 121k.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did you mention? No, by 7 day, right?
Yeah, I was just looking like in case there was a
Yes.
drastic change. So 3 months and then 7 day.
My 7 day is 279,000, and my engagement is 10k.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the 7.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And you said, are you posting about cryptocurrency, or are you posting about something else?
I'm posting about a specific cryptocurrency called Casper.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my niche. So I think my niche is crypto, but I don't talk about crypto. I only talk about that specific cryptocurrency. So this is my niche. This is why I went to X.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that X has a lot of niches. Like in YouTube, you have a lot of niches. You have gaming, you have vlogging. And the sad part is with X that it's easier to become a creator in X than YouTube. So we implemented a niche called make money on X niche. People are here to make money on X. That is the niche. And I think this is hurting the revenue sharing. People are here to make money, and that's a niche. Where we have people in the crypto niche making money out of impressions, out of engagement, but they want to make crypto content. So this is where it's different to be on X.
Yeah. Okay. No, I agree. And thank you for sharing that. And just so you're aware, my niche is sort of like political commentary, which a lot of the big influencers are also political commentary, and they don't seem to be having any problem. And just for our new listeners that join, so Hover he was not demonetized, but my account was. Anything else you want to add, Hover, before I go on to another speaker?
No, go on.
Okay, all right, thank you. So Made in America, I think you rejoined. Do you want to unmute and say hello?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now perfectly. Thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, hi everyone. The same thing happened to me. Just out of the blue, got the demonetization taken paused, and I just don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit more about like your account? If like maybe what topics are you posting on, and then also if you can share, your impressions and engagement stats in like the 3 month and 7 day time frame.
Alrighty. I do a little bit of everything. I comment on some political stuff. I make graphics, some song lyrics, tell some one-line jokes, to get people laughing, kind of like dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
My impressions for 3 months is 9.1 million with an engagement rate of 3.1%. What else? Let's see.
What was your total engagements? I know you were talking about the engagement percentage, but what about the total number of engagements in the 3 month?
291.3K.
Okay, that's very similar to mine. What about in the 7 day time frame to see if there was a change at all?
In 7 days, my engagements were 787.5K, and engagements were 143.2K.
Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty high numbers there. And do you post, I know you're posting kind of one-liners, you're saying. So are you quoting content and commenting on top of it, or just in the replies of it, or how, or do you vary it?
I had a few replies that went crazy, a little viral under other people's posts. Mm-hmm. And my own haven't been doing all that well. I don't do the one-liners that often. Sometimes I'll do a funny graphic with it. Mm-hmm. And, it's just jokes. It's not like some of those engagement farmers that do the coffee or tea or, stuff like that. I don't do those.
Right. And how long have you been approved in the X creator revenue sharing for?
For just about a year now. I believe it was last April that I got approved.
Okay. Okay, so all right. So you've been involved for a year, and have you received multiple payments, like pretty much every month?
Yes, I've never skipped a payment except for this last one.
Wow, that's yeah, that's astounding to me. So did you submit? Did you get an email notifying you of it?
Yes, it went to my spam, but I did
Uh,
find it in there, and it
okay.
said the same thing as yours did.
Did you click on the link that said, like appeal?
Yes, I did do the appeal.
Okay, and then I also responded to the email. I don't know if that makes any difference, and then I posted about it too. But yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry it happened to me too. But it sounds like you're creating, quality original content. So it seems very strange to me that that you were demonetized in the same way that I was, whereas other people are not. One example was Hover, and then another example. I mean, there's a bunch of large influencers that appear to be doing exactly the same thing that you're doing. Let me ask you this question: Did you have you ever on your account criticized X or criticized like Elon or any of their employees or anything like that?
No, I've always, said the X team they're hard workers, and everything should be fixed.
That's interesting. Is there anything you could think of, or if you had to guess at one thing, a reason why you've been demonetized? What would you say?
Maybe replying too much.
Replying too much. Good.
There was a lot of advice out there, saying to reply to get yourself seen, and a lot of people were doing that. But I don't believe that what I was doing was spammy, because I actually was replying to the topic at hand.
How often would you say you were replying, or like how many times a day, if you don't mind sharing?
I couldn't get over 200 replies in a day.
Yeah, that's
but there's
difficult.
a lot of people I know using AI, and they were doing thousands of replies a day.
Yeah,
I don't believe in doing that.
See, that's interesting because I did a show earlier on my podcast, which for the viewers, it's magamindpodcast.com. And I was discussing with another ex-user an article that she had done on Insurrection Barbie. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that account, but that's a political account. It has 1 million followers, and it's kind of gotten some criticism lately because at the top of anyone's X profile it says how many total posts you've done based on it includes replies in there, of course, and then it has when the account was created. So someone calculated based on hers, and on her account it was created August 2022, and it had something like I don't know 460,000 posts including replies. So they calculated that out, and it's it's one post every 3 minutes for 2.5 years, including like days, nights, weekends, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365. So people have said, well, that's impossible to do unless you have a team of 5 people or AI, if you're using AI to do responses. So it's interesting that those accounts seem to be fine, but then people like you and I that were manually creating content and replying and not doing it too much and doing good quality, we're the ones that are penalized. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's not right. They really need to look into that and stop those people from doing that. I mean, that's not impossible to post that often.
Yeah, it exactly it is. So you were mentioning some people are using like AI tools and they don't seem to be banned. Do you know what those AI tools are and how they're using it?
No. There was one person I saw a logo next to their name. They're affiliated with some AI company, but I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
The other ones, I just saw people talking about it, and I just wanted to get away from it, so I got away from those conversations.
Yeah, that makes sense. If any of those people, if you have their profiles or anything like that, send it to me because I'm just curious, what exactly is happening? What are they doing? And how is it that the people that are using the AI tools are not banned, but the actual content creators are? So I'd like to dig into that, a little bit more. But let me see if I can promote any of our other listeners here. please do, if you want to speak, go ahead and request to speak. Native Texan, I just invited you to speak. We had a couple people that were on and probably dropped off, and then we have some other listeners. But Made in America, any other comments that you wanted to add?
I'm not at this time. I'm trying to learn, from everybody and see where we can go from here.
Okay, there is a helpful X account that I want to tell you about that was posting about this and kind of posted some information to me, and they do reply. And let me find the exact one, because there may be some, some answers. X is not communicating a lot. They're not telling anyone anything, of course. But it's called, let's see, Monetization Coach. So it's the actual handle is at monetization_X, but the name of it is Monetization Coach. And I was hoping he would join this call, actually, because he's been posting. Let me just read some of his recent posts. He posted, over the past 24 hours, tens of thousands of creators have been notified that their creator revenue sharing enrollment has been temporarily paused. The reason given was violated monetization terms of service. This is similar to what we experienced in Great Pause 2024. So he's saying this happened last year. This mass pause event was preceded by a supposed glitch similar to what we saw a few weeks ago. He says, I wish I could give better news, but that's the history. And what he recommends doing is file an appeal. You may have to wait for months to have it reviewed. He says, unfortunately, 90% of creators will not be remonetized based on previous data. But he's saying if you are a serious creator, he gives a link. It's called the Paused Community. It's an X community. There's tips and tricks in there. He says review the creator revenue sharing terms of service. He links to that. Review your profile timeline. Remove anything that might be a violation of terms of service. And then, of course, submit the appeal. So that's basically what he's saying. There's another thing that he posted regarding X subscriptions. So Made in America or Hover, were either of you approved for X subscriptions?
Not yet. Mine is still pending. It's been a couple of months now.
Okay. What about you, Hover? Did you ever apply for X subscriptions?
No, I only 2,000 followers. But I will not think about doing this. I mean, why would people pay me? That is not the reason I'm here.
Yeah. No, okay, that makes sense. And then Hover, also, when you were posting, were you doing mostly original, created posts, or were you doing a lot of replies also with yours?
See, I only interacted before I realized I had to get monetized. I was just an X, like a normal person, didn't know anything about being a creator. I was just an X, but like a normal normie. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that, hey, you can get paid. And I was like, okay, I have to make content. I have to make crypto content. I've seen many crypto content creators. Mm-hmm. I have to make content. I have to make my own. I have to be inspired. So I got inspired. I learned to make my own. I will not just be an ape and just post about the price, but actually educate people. Mm-hmm. So I adopted the reply guy strategy that got me to 5 million impressions. And I also learned to own my niche. Like my niche has to know me. And I actually succeed in that. Like many people from the Casper community, we are all friends. And I don't think I have more to say. I would also say that I speak very aggressively. I use the word biga many times. I roast and say very ugly stuff to people. And if I go to X monetization, it says that I'm ill and I'm on my way to payouts. So, and I also checked my mails. I never got anything, but I haven't earned much because I don't think I have. I think we need 2,000 followers.
Okay.
So I'm definitely monetized. No doubt about that.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And then let's see. We've got another listener that just came in. Oh, I know this guy. Let me see if I can invite him to be a speaker. This is Media Right News. Media Right News, I just invited you to be a speaker. You take a minute and then it'll probably send you an invite if you want to grab a mic. So Made in America, is there any, I mean, I'm not necessarily an expert, but is there any other questions that you have or something that, we can try and address or at least discuss?
Not that I can think of right now. I also follow the coach that you mentioned.
Okay.
And he seems to be working really hard. But yeah, I'd love to learn more. Perfect.
And hey, Media Right News, go ahead if you want to unmute yourself.
Oh, I was just saying hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
You got paused or?
No, I mean I don't make much to begin with, but I don't think I'm on a pause. Or would I
You want
have
to
gotten would I have gotten a notice, or how would I know for sure if I did?
You would have gotten an email.
Okay, I thought I did just check. Let me double check here. Yeah, so a good monetization. The other day, people were talking about getting payouts, and I didn't get one, but I don't know if it's
on
creator revenue sharing. You are on track for payout.
Yes, you are on track.
Yeah, so yours is good. What happens is under active programs, it actually, like in mine, it removed the creator revenue sharing. That's not even an option anymore. It's gone.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, and apparently it did it for like tens of thousands of creators, according to the monetization coach on X, is what he's saying.
I wonder if there's any given reason or some kind of glitch or what the heck.
They have to control the monetization here. It's just a pyramid scheme. Because the revenue sharing here is fucked up. So it's
just retweet this space here. Not that
because it's just hurting the people that are actually legit. Because of many people that don't know how to create good content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I wish if there were so many people, as you say, I wish we could get some more bigger people in this space to talk about it. Any big names you can think of off the top of your head that you heard about that got demonetized?
One was Gunther Eagleman's brother. I guess it's Hunter Eagleman. I think he has 260,000.
Who's friends with Gunther.
See if you can get him or his brother, because I know Hunter Eagleman said that he was demonetized, and he's got 260,000 followers.
I can try. No promises, but
yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, it's like a friend of a friend at that point. Friend of a friend, basically. But I'll send the link at maybe 25% chance he shows up.
I mean, the king. The king of the monetization, make money on X niche is this guy's called Warren Hammy. If I say it right. If you guys know this guy, he has a picture of a horse.
How is his username spelled?
Roaring, ROAREING, and then Hammy.
RO.
If you go to it's on your X space. It's right on top of the space.
Oh, it is.
This guy, he's the king of make money on X niche. And he thinks it's a good idea, but since the history of X time, the people that have got demonetized has never got monetized again. But this is another situation. Like over 10,000 people got demonetized.
Wow.
And I think that there's a flaw on how to make money on this app, because we rely on people subscribing to premium. If you want to be profitable, like you're paying every month for every year, if you want to be profitable, we need millions of people that subscribe to X Premium without trying to get monetized. because that's why that is how we can stay profitable and make money on X. Like we need people that are not here to make money, because if everybody that has a blue check trying to get money, like we're just trying to steal money from each other. And that's why YouTube is different, because you can make money on ads. You're not competing with people paying. So I think to save it, you also has to get paid for ads showing under your post at the same time. So a small portion of the ad revenue that gets shown under your post should be paid to you, plus this payment revenue sharing. Because this is not the way we get money right now, people just manipulating the system.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that. Yeah, I was looking at that Roaring Hammy account, and he's saying that one time he got demonetized and he was reinstated in a week, but he thinks this is different, but he says, it is possible. I'm gonna add him to a list, actually, that Roaring Hammy one. I'm just gonna follow him for a while and see what he's got to say about it.
I think this guy's very cringe. Like, he adopted this I post every second hour, and his point is making premium subscription guys comment on his post. I mean, because you do that, you're not creating something, because you just want people that are monetized to people that are just premium subscribers to comment on your post. That is his mission, and that is not being a creator. That is just trying to manipulate the system. So I think this is the reason he got monetized.
So he also did get demonetized as well?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And he was okay. So you think he was manipulating it somewhat? But I'm curious, why would X think that either myself or Made in America is doing that same, if they're applying some kind of, are they manipulating in order to make money? Like, I'm just curious what that would be.
It's like, okay, I am from Middle East. I live in Denmark. So sometimes people judge me because some other people from Middle East are quote unquote bad people. So because some people game the system, manipulate the system, and they want to fix it, we need to short everyone. So let's just demonetize many people and make them reply for a remonetization, and like that they can short the bad people from the good people. I hope they're doing this at least. This is the right way to do it.
Yeah, I hope what you're saying is true and it's not something else. I'm going to invite another person at Old Row Swig. I guess Swig. I invited you to grab a mic and speak. So you should.
Because Brian,
yeah, go ahead.
The money I earned was my way to get monetized. That's the money I earned. I have never earned a penny since I got monetized. And because I removed my 2,000 followers, I haven't got to pay out.
Okay.
Because I just try to block and unblock everyone I thought was bot accounts and not in my niche. So I was not included because I didn't take any money from them.
I see. All right, so Swig, I did invite you to speak, and I'm being told that I should make you a co-host as well. Oh, he just dropped. Swig just dropped. That's too bad. Team Trump is there. I'm going to make Team Trump give you a mic as well. And then there's this other guy, Joseph Pino, that's posting about it. I'm going to invite him. But yeah, who was that Swig guy that was on? I don't know who that was, but apparently he was.
Yeah, he's a pretty big. Probably stumbled into here and stumbled back out before you got him on. That sucks. He would have brought some people in if he had none of your dang.
That's right.
16,000 followers or something.
He was actually at the White House I think he was one of the people holding the folders, but he was there doing something.
Okay.
Sometimes your mic is working. Sometimes.
He's definitely something that's well known by a lot of people. Let me see. I wonder if he will come back. He knows it.
Yeah, your mic's kind of in and out there. I'm not sure if it's on your end or not.
It's on his end.
I need
yeah, try leaving and coming back, because you're kind of going in and out your microphone like it's breaking. All right, I did invite a couple other people to speak as well. I see Becca joined, and we have Aura Petri joined as well.
I wonder if she got demonetized because she's a good creator.
Yes, I did. Thank you for asking.
on the space you were tomorrow, like you were in the space yesterday. Were you demonetized there?
No, I got my notice this morning. I haven't been paid for 2 payouts. I got my notice that I was demonetized this morning.
Wow, and I'm sorry to hear that, Aura. The same thing happened to me. Can you share a little bit about like what kind of content you were posting, how long you've been approved in the X Creator Revenue Share program, and maybe some statistics on your engagements or impressions in the 3-month period of time?
Alrighty, let's start off with question number 1. I write long form content for the most part. I have done liners. I call them the Trojan horse method. I will attach my long form to a post with a one-liner to get it into the feed. I'm definitely not a copy to your me. I do not engage with one-lining content because I've discovered, that's engagement farming rings, even if they're not official. The algorithm isn't going to see the difference between somebody on Telegram saying engage with my stuff and me running around and leaving 1,000 good mornings. So I have very high standards in what I engage with and who I hang out with. I maybe not high enough, and I can get to that point in a moment. So monetization. Oh, I don't want to do that. Can I not even see my history now?
You should be able to go under premium and then analytics to see your stats.
Yeah, I was looking for my payouts, but I can't see
nope.
those.
Yeah, they hid it. They've taken that away, so you can't even see that, unfortunately.
Okay, so I think I got my first payout. I could probably dig in my account and find a screenshot. Yeah, it was a while back, and I was one of those people that it never made any sense that I wasn't getting paid in the beginning because my analytics were really good. Then I started getting paid. Like once I got 2 consecutive payments, it's been over 7 months, consecutive payments. My high was like $430 a month. I mean, a payout. And my lowest was like at 40, which would have been my last one 3 payouts ago. Analytics are up higher than they've ever been. I'm sorry. So for the very first time, I actually had over 5 million impressions on my own content over the 3 months. I have 14.6 million. I had 3 posts go viral. So that's the bulk of those impressions. I don't reply guy that much. I mean, I am active because I have a community and, I do talk to people. So I think average right now, and deep thoughts down, so I can't even see super well, but my average for 3 months in replies, 184 a day is my average, which, it's high, but I'm obviously not 1,000 a day or something crazy. My engagement, let's see, I'll do this down by pay period. So my metrics are really low compared to most accounts that get paid, but it's because I do long form.
Right.
And
don't show you that time on content, which I know is part of the pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like in February, when I got some of my highest payouts, my engagements were 16,000, about 2,500 replies. This last pay period, I had over 22,000 engagements, over 3,000 replies. So, I mean, you can't go directly, it gets a little wonky. My engagement rate is 0.7. Well, I know a lot of people think really high engagement is what you shoot for. You really don't want a 20% engagement rate.
Right.
If you have a 20%, even 10%, that could be indicative of engagement farming.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a healthy 0.7 is really healthy, especially with the number of impressions I've had. So there you have it. Seriously.
Minus 3% engagement, and I'm not demonetized.
Yeah. So I don't think it's anything on that page that caused my demonetization. I am a bit concerned that it might be, I'm active with a lot of other creators. Of course, again, I run a creator community. Mm-hmm. It's called Creators of X. It's a small community mm-hmm. on purpose. Mm-hmm. Want high quality creators. I don't want good morning, good night, any of that.
Right.
I also belong to some other communities, like larger communities, where there are people that I'm sure are engagement farming. And I don't engage with low quality content, but I think, unless this is just a glitch and everybody's been thrown in the bucket, I think that we've got some bad actors in the community, and we are all touching their accounts and engaging with them without knowing. Mm-hmm. And that's why we've been caught up in this. And I recently stumbled over a pretty large account. I had no idea. And, I was on their post right as it had been posted, and they had 8 reshares within the first 6 seconds of the post. And I looked through their history back to the beginning of their account, and it's obvious they're enhancing their engagement. And I'm really worried that that's what it is that's caused me to be paused.
Just because you're connected to them.
Correct. Not that one specific account, but, there are a lot of accounts that we're all together. So, we're all touching each other. And so if you're going to automate it, and you've got somebody who's guilty, let's say, then the rest of us are kind of guilt by association or sus. That's my theory.
Right.
I think it's totally wrong, but that's what I think.
No, that's an interesting theory. And, I'm in some communities as well. And I'm in one, it's called Creator Club and Revenue Share. And I noticed that they actually have a space going on right now. Well, actually, I scheduled this space on this topic, and then someone just started a space in there on the same topic after I scheduled it. So they stole my thunder a little bit, but they've got a bunch of people in there. So I'm concerned it could be, these communities, these creator and revenue share communities. That's an interesting theory.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Made America, what is your purpose for being on this platform? Outside of money, what have you done? Who people have you contacted? Who people have you like connected with, and what is your purpose for being here?
I just enjoy being here. I like making content and socializing with other people, and of course making money. That's wonderful. And I truly, it helps me out.
Yes. So the big competition X has is YouTube. And what is the difference between X and YouTube is YouTube, it's not about connecting with other creators. They can do collapses, but there's not that community and make money together. And we have this culture in X, and maybe this is the problem. We have people growing together by connecting together. And while they're I know it's a small group, and let's say that you have a small creating group, and someone actually tries to get to produce good original content, he's still in this group where it's not happening on YouTube. So maybe it's one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And Aura, it sounds like you've been a monetized creator for a while. Have you ever been paused before, or have you heard of other pauses? I heard there was something called like the Great Pause in 2024.
I was not monetized during the Great Pause of 2024. I was just starting to try to, get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I did know a lot of people that were paused during that time period. And, most of them are now in this other pause. And I got to tell you, like, a lot of them are really passionate content creators. They're not breaking any rules. They're doing nothing wrong.
Right.
And the review process, like, I was just responding to somebody. There was one account, dude, she did the cutest animal videos, and she got paused, and they didn't get around to reviewing it for 6 months. By the time they got around to it, she's like, screw this. She's over on YouTube. She still pops in once in a while and says hi to people, but she wants nothing to do with X. And the reason why I've always been so passionate about X since Elon bought it was the free speech. Like, we need that.
Mm-hmm.
We have it. That's why I've been all in on this platform, is because of that free speech angle. But I feel like what's happening right now, to me, my conspiracy brain, I'm very conspiracy minded, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if you wanted to destroy a social media platform, this would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, it's interesting. And I asked some other people, have you ever criticized X or Elon on X? Is that something that you've done?
I criticize X, but in a very loving manner, just like I would my husband or my children. I don't just whine or complain. I offer solutions. So I did start a creator strike last Payout Friday. And about me not even getting paid, I'm not even asking for pay. If anything, I wish they would do away with the monetization program and give everybody a sub button, and we could just, figure it out. But what I want is two-way communication. They suspend accounts left and right. You end up getting locked in jail because you misspelled the word hoe. Like,
yeah,
ridiculous. So we need an X creator page and community. And what I'm proposing is weekly spaces with a rotating cast of employees, not just one employee, but different people. And then we need to be able to have daily polls from the creators, a top 5 bullet point list that goes to Elon and goes to Linda, because one of the big problems, I don't think Elon has any idea what's going on here. Any at all. The only time he, and when he says, oh, I'll fix it, now we see stuff happening. But when I talk to the employees, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 5 of them that I've been able to have discourse with through subspaces or in spaces, dude, the answer's always the same. Oh, I don't know, it's not my department. Or, oh, we can't do it because of scale. And there's like always an excuse, but there's never an official statement about anything on anything. And I'm sorry, I'm upset. I'm going to shut up now.
No, I hear you. And, I feel very similar to you. I've typically been a little bit careful about criticism of X, although I have criticized the CEO, Linda, pretty highly because she has a history and a background in censorship. And
I'm well aware.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, I'm with you on that one. And I think that she needs to go because there's more and more complaints about limiting free speech, and more people are being, they get a bad taste in their mouth. And, Elon's off, doing a lot of good things with Doge and other things, but, his attention is not on X. And I agree with you. I mean, people, their revenue is going to be in trouble probably because unless the government comes in and gives them, $60 billion, which they could, they're a lot of people are very upset, and they're, like I've said, if my account is not reinstated to the monetization program, I'm going to downgrade and probably eventually cancel, just because it doesn't make sense. It's not justifiable given the high costs. And I'm a Premium Plus subscriber. I mean, it's not that cheap. And I was, maybe on the way to break even or be profitable with my, creator revenue payments. I had just gotten in like 2 months ago. And, I'm pretty upset as well. So I know there's a lot of other people. There's a couple of people that are listeners on here. I'm happy to invite you to speak or request a mic, but, let me open it up to. But before we do that, so Aura, did you submit an appeal email? Did you do that already?
Yes, I did do that. I actually had to do it twice. I didn't realize the first time that they were asking me to explain my creative process. And I just told them, like, I don't break rules. I've been one of the most vocal people on this platform telling people, knock it off, create content, quit with the one-liners. This isn't going to work. I've told people not to engage with it. I have warned them, because there were employees speaking about this and telling you, if you do these things, right? So, and why waste your time? Like, create good content, post with passion and purpose. If you're just here to make money, dude, go get a job at McDonald's. They're going to pay you way more. Right? Like, you could get a data entry job that's going to pay you $28 an hour rather than good morning and good night. I do want to say that, you're lucky, and I feel I'm lucky that I wasn't making enough revenue to where I depended on it. I have a lot of friends that were depending on it. My time over the last year has been convincing people to stay and believe in the long plan. But in recent months, it's been fundraising. Several people have lost their housing. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say this is destroying people's lives. And, people can make fun of you all you want and say, oh, well, you were stupid, or, well, you expect to get paid. No, they told us we could. So the fact that I never made enough to pay a bill, I'm thankful for that, because otherwise I'm totally screwed right now. Every nickel I've made, plus some, has gone back into the creator community, either in subscriptions or tips. And I think I'm at like $5,000 that I've made with the revenue program and then my subscriptions. But I was even lucky to get that. How many people have been waiting for their sub buttons for, a year and a half and haven't gotten it?
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the fine print, they don't have to give me that money. It's in the fine print for that program. They could keep it if they want to. Like, none of this makes sense to me from a business perspective. And it's a PR nightmare. And I agree with you at this point. I don't know the inner workings, but obviously as a CEO, Linda is not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
Or he's doing a great job and he's just not working for us.
Well, that's another good point. And, there's been a bunch of theories that, criticism of the X or the X employees can get you banned, or, being critical of Elon or whatever.
It did. And I got to tell you, every time I've thrown a tantrum on here, my engagement has gone through the roof. I don't do it for engagement. Please don't anybody think that you can look at do engagement crap. But every time I've thrown a tantrum or bitched about stuff on here, my engagement's gone up. So I think that's more of a rumor to try to keep people to be quiet and not say bad things.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I was going to mention to you that, I never did get approved for the subscriptions. It still says pending there. So I guess that's still an option, but I highly doubt I'll be approved now, being as that my, creator monetization is paused.
Hey, I will tell you, Brian, I just heard from somebody earlier today that was in the original pause, because one of my big worries is, am I going to lose my sub button now? Like, I'm worried about that. Like, I've only got, it's only $150 a month I'm getting, but that's $150 that I give to other creators. So I am worried about losing it. And she was like, oh yeah, I got paused, but I got my sub button. So you're okay. It's different programs. So you still do have a chance at your button.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. And Aura, what is your plans? Let's say that you don't get, you don't get unpaused, and then we'll go to Patrick after that. But if you don't get unpaused, are you going to go to another platform? What are your plans for being fit?
A great question, Brian. And by the way, hi, Brian. Nice to meet you. Finn America sent me a DM and told me that's a space, so that's why I'm here.
Oh, thank you.
So my plans, my annual renewal thing is up in November, and if they end the monetization program, at least to where I'm not supporting grifters, I'll probably renew. I'll still show up every day, but I am going to diversify to other platforms, and then I am going to work on monetizing my content on my own terms with affiliate links, and that's going to be the theme in May in my community. We are going to be teaching people about affiliate programs, going through and seeing what the best ones are, and then helping them create ad copy that isn't going to gross out your audience, so you disenfranchise your whole base by being a sellout, right?
Right.
My plans.
Wow, that's good. And please do share, your link to your community in the space, or at least send it to me via DM. But please do that because that's interesting, and I'd be interested to hear what platforms you're considering and some of that. I've done some affiliate marketing a long, long time ago, so I'd be interested on your take on it. So please do post that link. I do want to go to Patrick and say they have their hand up. Patrick, go ahead and unmute and you can speak. I think it's Patricia. Sorry, I was saying Patrick. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I know. I heard it.
I was gonna say, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Patricia. I just saw the first part of yours and I didn't look at it.
That's okay. My dad's name is Patrick, so close enough. I figured she may only see a few words, a few letters. Okay, so I wanted to jump in because Aura and Brian both. I don't know if you were in Dan's X space this morning. Dan was talking to people.
I was not. Please tell us.
He specifically asked if there were people who had applied for the subscriptions and under the new guidelines, under what's currently there, and had yet to receive approval or denial.
Mm-hmm.
So, depending on how long you've been pending, I would reach out to Dan if I were you.
What's his username?
It's Dan. I'll go ahead and find that post and give it to you. If you DM him, he's not going to respond.
Okay.
But you can leave a comment under his post if you want.
Yeah, send me the link if you wouldn't mind. But it's at, what's the username? It's at Dan what?
It's Kettlebell Dan.
Ooh. Is that KETT?
Yes.
LE Kettlebell Dan. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I think I found him. Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, he said the X badge after his name. Yeah, he asked for that in the space, so it's not an actual post. But if
there's an actual post. I will put below.
Okay, I didn't see the actual post. Sorry, Aura.
That's okay.
But yeah, I just thought I would, for both of you, mentioning the subs or whatever, just mention what I heard him say this morning.
Yeah.
Ask.
Please do send that to me, and I will. I'll reach out to him, and then share that link as well. But so Patricia,
yes.
Questions for you. Are you currently monetized? Were you demonetized? And can you tell us a little bit about that?
I am monetized. I was not demonetized. I have not gotten a payout over $40. Period.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, maybe it's because I'm one of the little ones. They don't really care. I don't know. Ora and I were talking earlier today, kind of on the sidelines, and she thinks that maybe because I have the creator silo that I'm in, but also this world of royal fashion that I step out into when things are going on, that maybe that's why I didn't get demonetized, that I'm not solely focused on what's going on with this program.
Okay.
But, I got monetized. I started the process in last July during the Olympics, or August, whatever, and I got my first payment by surprise in October, and then nothing until January, and then I got 3 in a row, and then I've had nothing since Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So, I really don't, if I get a payment, great. If not, at this point, I don't depend on it. So.
Yeah, I mean that's good to hear. I was when I started the space, I was telling people that unfortunately I was demonetized after just 2 months, and I think I got 3 payments, and I can't see any rhyme or reason to it. But I'm glad to hear that some people were not.
Well, I mean, I'm effectively demonetized because I'm not getting payments.
Well, right. You're eligible, but not getting payments.
Right. So, but Yeah, I just thought I'd pop in because I saw some familiar faces,
Mhm.
and then.
No, I appreciate
Can
it.
you guys, sorry to interrupt.
Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Was anybody else speaking, or I'm not interrupting anybody, right?
I think Patricia's she disconnected for a moment, so go ahead and speak. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say, some of this, what's going on, might link back to the recent, I guess there was a talk of a bunch of artificially making money, and it started with the soda gate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if this was covered by somebody else, so stop me if I'm being redundant here. It started with the soda and candy gate, where Chad Prather and a few of those other people got busted being paid to shill for big soda without disclosing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw Mindy Robinson get in trouble for some not disclosing some sponsorship when I guess she claims she actually did disclose it. And so it sounds like to me they probably went overboard with the cracking down on certain people's monetization,
Mm-hmm.
starting from there. And this happens a lot with X whenever it's like just like when they're going after bots, a lot of real people get their accounts suspended when they're trying to get rid of all the bots in a purge, for
Mm-hmm.
example. And so to me, it almost sounds like they were going after people who were doing things artificially or against X's terms of service to engage content or create content to make money, and genuine people got caught up in a dragnet that was supposed to be to catch bad actors. And the hope is that maybe it'll get reversed, or I don't know what the appeal process would be. Sounds like there isn't much of one, since you guys are all talking about what the heck are we supposed to do. So I don't know going forward what everybody should do, but does that sound like it might make some sense?
It does, and there is an appeal process, I guess. But Aura was talking about before, and Aura, you were saying that you did it twice, and the second time you wrote more about what is your creative process, and I didn't realize that I was supposed to do that either. Can you give us an example of what you wrote in there for your creative process?
Well, I did not do it like the smart people in the room, because this all happened before I'd had coffee. Mm-hmm. So I wake up, I grab a cup of coffee, I write for 3 hours, then I use AI to edit it, then I create an AI generated image based upon whatever the content was, and then I post it. I host frequent spaces and run a community. There you go. That's my process. Mm-hmm. So yeah, not the most professional response. I should have used AI.
Is there an example? Well, yeah. Is there an example of what you should put for your? Because it didn't even say anything like put your creative process. It just said appeal here. So I basically just put, I make original videos and I do investigative journalism.
Well, then you're probably good. I think be good. I really think that that's almost just a human tester at this point. Mm-hmm. Like, do you actually create or not? And they're going to get a lot of people that probably don't give a very good answer, mm-hmm. like obviously not human, or might not even answer it at all, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, guys. I really don't. I know that my friend Chris, I can't think of his last name. He's Kate Bly's boyfriend, if anybody knows it off the top of their head. He did and posted what he put in, and it was a very long, well thought out piece. But if you write too many characters, it'll tell you it's too long. So I really think that if you, like your answer, I do investigative journalism and I create videos, that should be fully acceptable.
Okay. Well, I hope it is. I was pretty pissed off too, so I did update my profile, and the first thing I have in my profile at the top is demonetized by X, and I have my True Social and Gab and Rumble link. So.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna nuke my account tomorrow, as in, the bio and whatnot. It's probably not gonna be super. I'm not kissing anybody's ass to get remonetized. I refuse. I'm not deleting any comments. Yeah. I'm not deleting any posts. Because I pay a lot of damn money for free speech. So.
No, I mean that's a good point. And yeah, the other thing that concerns me is, I'm really, really active because I'm in the political niche in the elections, the time of the elections, and I use X, for a lot of political purposes. So, the revenue sharing is nice, but that's not my purpose here. I don't, need that. I don't do it for that. So I don't know. I'm just pretty annoyed on the other hits to free speech. I mean, there's certain words you can't use. You can't talk about certain topics. So I'm pretty annoyed about that as well. I see that we have a couple hands up. Let's see. Ora, did you have your hand up again?
Well, I was putting my hand up because I saw media's hand and I didn't want to talk over them.
Okay, well, that's played. But yeah, Media Right News, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be quick. You know what? I kind of lost my train of thought. Let Ora go ahead first, and then hopefully I'll have my thought back by the time she's done. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, so Brian, that's really, I didn't know everybody was getting paused, and this was, people getting paid, whatever, but I was already in grave distress about some of the things I've seen on the platform, the censorship, the people being suspended, accounts suspended without any decent explanation. I know that at one point there was an employee with an X that was suspending accounts on behalf of big accounts. And I became aware that sometime last year, somebody had posted something about it. And then I did find out that was taken care of. Elon managed to see the post and took care of it. But there are things that are just happening that make me fear for the platform, right? And I believe that the platform has saved America, like for real, saved it. And has changed the whole course of humanity. So it feels petty to be like, well, I didn't get paid, but we need some changes, and that's only going to happen with transparency and communication. And so that's really why I started this strike. Other people want to call it a sit-in and not use the strong language, but it is a strike. I'm not going to engage on Payout Fridays. I want this creator community so that we can have transparency and communication, so that when somebody's account gets suspended, we can talk about in the community where employees are seeing it. Hey, this account got suspended. And it's an X official page. Right now, you make any comment about a suspension or a problem with an account on any of the X official communities, you are hidden or kicked out and banned. So anyways, I think the point that I'm trying to make is if those things are important to us, and if you have a community, please consider hosting for an hour, because last Friday was the first Friday, but we're going to keep doing this until we get the community. I don't care if you send me $10,000 next payday, which obviously you're not going to because they demonetized me. But we're going to keep pushing this because it's necessary. It's necessary that, when people come to this platform and they're brand new, that they can't meet people, nobody can see them. Like, how is this going to be a healthy news platform, or a place to organize, or a place to enable people to communicate across the globe for the betterment of mankind, if you show up and nobody can see you for 6 months? That's ridiculous.
Right. No, I agree. And then to our new listeners that joined, I did send mic invites, but we're going to request the mic if you want to speak. I see that Media Right News, you got your hand up again. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got my train of thought back here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm inviting Johnny Midnight to speak also. How's it going, Johnny?
Okay. So what I was going to say is obviously there's a handful of massive, large accounts that make their living by tweeting, and good for them. For the ones that earn their following genuinely, not the ones that got their bots from the DoD or whatever.
Right.
But for the genuine ones, but a lot of us little guys, yeah, we're just trying to pay for our subscription to Twitter Blue, which they're about to double the price of again. And I'm just going to say it for the record, I'm not paying $500 next time. I just paid $250. Now they're going to want $500 next time, unless I start making substantially more money on here, which I don't see happening. I'm not paying $500 just to have this blue check. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand Elon's line of thinking where he's just going to keep charging astronomical and more astronomical rates for people to be able to show up on people's timelines. And then when you don't pay those extortion rates, nobody sees you at all. And to pay for those rates, you've got to get these payouts, or else you're just dumping your own money from your other job into Twitter or X or whatever, which almost seems like a waste of money. If you're not making some sort of income back from your time spent on this platform, why would you dump hundreds of dollars a year into it? So for the people who've been demonetized, I really hope they get you guys fixed, because that's really all you're trying to do at this size. I don't know if we have any large people in here, but at most everybody's size that's in here, you're just trying to pay for your Twitter subscription. It's not like any of us, I don't think, are making a living off this to begin with. And here we are you guys are getting randomly nuked for no reason.
Yep.
While they're doubling and tripling the cost just to show up in people's feeds. It's stupid. And I'll land the plane there.
That's right. And I think we got a Johnny Midnight. I'm not sure if you're the real Johnny Midnight. Go ahead, Johnny. You got the mic, though.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I happen to agree with most everything that's been said since I've been listening. What happened to me was I had just lost my job, and they had tried to force it. Basically, I felt like I was being forced to join the this monetized thing. I fought it. I mean, they kept trying to get me to join and sending me notices and stuff, and I kept avoiding it. I didn't really want to join up. But once I lost my job, I thought, well, I wonder what this would be about. And, it did turn out to be beneficial for me, but it was a lot of hard work. I mean, it was really hard. And, in the beginning, you're making like $80 or something. And it was really tough. But, all I can say is, even though you're feeling it like you are, and I agree, $50, I mean, it went from being like $21 to like $50 in no time. It's like, wow, that's a lot of money. You figure over a period of a year, like he said, $500-600 a year to just join up, and it's a lot of money. And the thing that disturbs me is you all spoke about the people that are being censored and the things that are happening. But just like on my account, I've only gained about, I've only probably gained about 10,000 followers in 4 months. But if I look at my following, I may gain 1,000 to 2,700 a day. But they're not showing up on follow list. So what I think's happening is I think Twitter's actually going in and unfollowing people for you every day, and it's been going on for 4 months. I got lots of friends that are having the same thing happen to them, and I've definitely lost over 100,000 followers just over the last 4 months because they're just not adding them on there at least that many. And and as far as the monetize, I mean, it just went down. It went down like 75%, just like instantly. And it's been that way for months. It just went down instantly. 75%. I mean, so you have 25% left of what you were getting. And, they won't tell us exactly how to make any money on here. And you have no one you can ask. And if you ask Grok is lying to you. And I can tell you that for a fact. Grok is absolutely not giving us the full story. I was making really good at one point, and then I asked Grok, how could you make more? Grok said that the thing was to get more replies. And I was getting like, about 30,000 replies a week. And I thought, well, maybe I can up it. Maybe I can get more replies. And then I was getting 60-something thousand replies a week. And then my pay went down to about 90%. It went down 90%. So I realized that wasn't the truth. The replies didn't work because my replies had doubled and you got 90% less. So the replies don't do it. I'm thinking that the impressions are probably the most important thing on here, because if you get the impressions, that means more people are seeing it. And more people that see it, more chances that you will pick up some traction. That's the only thing I can think is that get more impressions if you can somehow. The more impressions lead to more people seeing it. More people seeing it leads to better things. And I feel really bad for you guys. You've got a lot of hard work and time in this, and getting Trump elected and all the things we've done. I just think that it's a disservice to all of us. Everyone should be treated equal on this platform. It really should be. And, I don't understand how it is. I see that, and I see it probably, you guys probably experiencing the same thing, but, you get maybe 20 reposts on something or 10, and you're looking at it and you're like, this is a real good post. And you have maybe, 10 or 20 of them or maybe more a day that you just take off your bookmarks because it's not even worth having on there. And, they're really good posts, and you're thinking, wow, 20. And you got 470,000 followers and you get 20 reposts. There's something not right about this. There's got to be more than 20 people that you got something really good that are looking at it. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hog your show. So
no, that's okay. Yeah, Johnny, we appreciate you joining. I did want to ask you a couple follow-up questions if you have a little bit of time. So, your count, you have about 473,000 followers right now. Is that right?
Yeah, unless they've took another 1,000 or 2 from me like they constantly do
right.
every day.
Right.
Yes.
Like you were mentioning. And then, with some of the other, larger influencers that you are interacting with, I did hear that I think it was Gunther Eagleman's brother, I think it's Hunter Eagleman, that, he was demonetized. But are you hearing that any other larger influencers got hit with this latest demonetization?
No, I haven't heard about that. And that's why I came over here to see what this was all about. I didn't know anyone had been demonetized. And I don't know why he would be either. He's a pretty solid account, and I don't understand the reasoning behind it. He's a good account and a pretty good guy, and he puts out some good information. And to demonetize him, I don't know. It should be happening to any of us, really.
Yeah.
And, you guys, you work hard. You guys work hard, put your stuff out too, just like anybody else, and you should be treated just as equal about it.
No, we appreciate that. And yeah, Hunter Eagleman, he's got about 150,000 followers, and he posted this morning about it. Basically, there was an X. This is what he posted. He says, it's a good morning when you wake up and find out that X at premium deems you a bot farmer, LOL. Rest assured, I'm a real live person. Yeah, so so he posted that email and was saying he got this email that his creator revenue sharing is paused. That's the same thing that I got. It says violated monetization terms of service, just generically with nothing else specific.
Wow, I'm shocked that happens. It shouldn't be. He's like I say, he's a good accountant and he works hard at it. And all of us, we put hard work into it here, and it's nice to have some rewards from the hard work. I mean, they didn't expect it, and you don't maybe expect much or this or that, but it would be nice to feel like you're a part of it and get an equal share of the hard work that you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really disappointing. And who knows what they're planning on doing next? If they take him down, who's next? I don't know. But I don't know why they would do that. I don't know why they would demonetize him. I really don't. And as far as this bot farming stuff, I don't know what they really mean by that, because I know that before I could actually search my account and see, what percentage, weren't maybe real people, and and I would do it. I was in a room and where we'd always do it, and I was always the one that showed the lowest amount of bots on mine, and I guess because a lot of them I would never follow them back, and my problem with Twitter is also I used to follow everybody back, and I enjoyed following everybody back, but as soon as I would follow 10 people or 20 people back, they would come in there and they'd give me a 3-day.
Right.
So I'd have 3 days I couldn't really do anything. And as soon as that was over, and if I followed, and I couldn't follow people during those 3 days either. But if those 3 days was up, and I'd go in, I'd try to follow another 10 or 20 people. And they would do the same thing, and it just kept going on. And I'm like, well, I guess you don't want me to follow anyone, so I'll just have to stop. Or I'm going to get 3 days forever. I'll never be able to get anything out. And so that's what I had to do. And, fortunately the account grew, but, I wish I had been able to follow everybody back, really, to be honest with you. I just feel like it's always fair. And I did have a couple of really good accounts on here before this one. And my first account I was really proud of, and I was hoping they'd give it back to me, but they didn't. And but I feel you struggle. I mean, you may not think that, but I do. I experience stuff like that every day, and I hate seeing it happen to anyone, because if it happened to you, it could happen to me. Okay, that's the way it is, and I just don't want it to happen to anyone.
Right. No, and we appreciate that. And there was another. There's been a couple people on here speaking that had their accounts demonetized, and a lot of them were saying they're just definitely following the rules. They're creating original content. There was one lady that she spends 3 hours writing every day. She's got like an active community. She's not doing reply stuff. She's not doing AI replies, nothing like that. And the reason she's here is to help the community and to grow and share and be creative. It doesn't even have anything to do with monetization, but she's been monetized for like 7 months, and now all of a sudden she's demonetized. So I mean, it's really tough. If anyone else that joined the call, if you've been demonetized, please do request a mic, and I'll let you speak. I want to focus at first on people that have been demonetized with this latest round. But Johnny, if you know of any other creators, that you can reach out and talk to, maybe there's something that together, if you guys band together, you can, push back a little bit on this latest kind of mass demonetization. There's one account, it's Monetization Coach, and he's claiming that it's like 10,000 people that were demonetized, and it's a lot. A lot of them are truly real creators that are not violating the standards at all, and so it's something that needs to be addressed.
Well, I think there's a real problem with that. The other thing is as far as original creator content, we're really not the creator of anything. We get our stuff from Fox News. We get our stuff from other outlets. It might be Owen, or it may be Real America's Voice. The information, unless we actually go out and do the video ourselves and do the interview ourselves, it's not really ours. But, the way I look at it here is we're here to share information. And, people take my stuff all the time. That's fine. And I take other people's stuff as well. We're here to share information. Okay, we're in an information age. And for someone to think that, well, I got this information and no one should take it and share it, that's the wrong way to think, because we need to get everything out there. Everyone needs to know about it as much as we can get it out there. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. And there was a couple comments that were on this space as well. I think one of them was by Mars. I don't think they're on anymore. And they were saying this is the second time they're demonetized. Some people were talking about there was something called the Great Pause of 2024. And I guess 90% of those creators, didn't get remonetized. So it's a real tough thing. And some of them, were making nice animated videos about animals and stuff like that. And now they're making a lot of money on YouTube. So it's really a shame that X is doing this, that they're, if it is a mistake, that they're not doing it in a more thoughtful, careful way, and that they don't have, more of a staff on the appeal process to reinstate people that were, wrongly demonetized. So
I think this will also become like the Great Pause of 2025, maybe. Because this pause is definitely bigger than the other one we had in 2024.
So Hover, so you remember the one in 2024, and you think this is affecting a lot more creators?
Yeah, this one is way bigger.
Mm-hmm. Johnny, if you're still on, I was going to ask a little bit, can you share about your creative process and how you create content and what you tend to do if you're doing a lot of, longer form posts now, or if you're, still kind of doing commentary on media, or what kind of content you're creating?
As far as the content, I just try to use various sources. There's always new information coming in. And, I try not to focus on one thing. I try to throw in some humor and sometimes some sarcasm and try to make people think. And I just try to do a variety. I try to throw a little history in, just a little bit of everything to get people thinking. And, it's not all about politics. I mean, you think about it, it really is. I know, because, the country is really important. We have to save the country. Mm-hmm. But, we got to throw some other stuff out there too. I mean, we're not really entertainers, but we got to throw something out there that's going to make people. It's not always just cut and dry in politics all the time. We've got life around us as well, and the animals and things like that. That's wonderful stuff. I think and laughing. I think laughter is the way to get through to some people, and I don't know. And as far as the long stuff, I just don't see that really. Unless you're getting paid for it, I just don't see that working for anybody, really. Mm-hmm. Certain people it may have, but I don't see it working for most people. The long posts and stuff like that. And I have in my personal room, I have someone that does that, and it's just I don't really see them getting anything from it. And unless there's something I just don't know about, and I would like to know why someone's doing a 3,000 word essay and for a post.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question, and actually I've used the X premium articles before, which are long form, and the reason I don't know if it was 3,000 words, but the reason I did a long form one is because it was an investigative article where there's like research that's going into it, and I need to have screenshots of like police reports and different stuff like that. So that's one reason that I've done some long form ones, which were pretty well received. But I see that your number 2 post that you reposted on your profile, Johnny, is about the Epstein list, and thank you for posting that. I actually was I did a podcast, and I also posted a lot on the Epstein list and Pam Bondi's inaction. And I'm not making it political off the topic of this space, but I just wonder if as a non-larger account, if maybe there's some kind of pushback of that, because there's certain topics, and if smaller accounts hit them, then they get the whack, they get the whack-a-mole. And I can't think of anything else that I've violated other than possibly questioning or talking about things that maybe people don't want to be talked about.
Well, the thing I see on these longer posts like you're talking about is these people have a video already, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's okay to put just some information to get people, interested or know what it is they're going to be watching. But why put every word that's going to be in the video if you've got a video and you can just throw some up there to let them know what's in the video, and then they can watch the video on their own? But why put every single word that's in the video and then have the video itself? I'm kind of missing why you have a video if you're just going to put all the text on there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point. And then there's another question I've got for you, Johnny, and let me know if it's off track or whatever. But I did another podcast and was talking to another account, and they kind of did a little bit of analysis on a large influencer, Insurrection Barbie. Are you familiar with Insurrection Barbie's account?
Yes, I am.
All right, so she's got about 1 million followers, but if you look at her account, at the very top of the account, under the name above the banner, it says the number of posts. So for example, your account says 271,000, almost 272,000 posts, and that includes replies, right? That's how they get that number. So it's my understanding is posts and replies together since the inception of the account, which for yours is October of 2020.
I think it's actually just posts because, I've got I think it's like 2 billion or something. I was looking at, as far as I think it was replies or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That number must actually be for actual posts. I
Really?
think.
Okay, well that's interesting. So let's say it is posts. So yours is 271,000 since October of 2020. If we go to her account, Insurrection Barbie, and let's see, I just had it up just a minute ago. So let's see. Her username's Defiantly Free. It's misspelled, but I'm loading it now, so I'm stalling while it's loading. Anyways, she has 430,000 posts, 430,000. It's almost double yours, but her account was created in August of 2022. So she has, 2 years behind you in time, but she's doubled the amount of posts as you.
Wow, that's pretty shocking. Have you seen me posts I do? I don't know how you could do double amount of posts.
Well, that is a great point, and that's what we were talking about before on this my podcast, which is just for the viewers. It's magamindpodcast.com. It's linked to my profile. But we were talking about her account, and we were saying it's impossible for a person to post that much. And yours is a great example. So you're a prolific poster, but in basically twice the amount of time that she's had, you only have half the number of posts. And someone actually calculated Insurrection Barbie's post per minute, and you're saying it doesn't include replies either. So post per minute, it's roughly one post every 3 minutes, but that's like 24/7, 365, like no sleep, no breaks.
I believe in information, and that's why I've sent out so much. But I just don't think it's, I'm not trying to sound like a ham here, but I just don't know how you could possibly post more posts than I post. I'm sorry. I just don't know how it's possible.
No, that's a great point. And so, just along this train of thought, what would you say? How would that be possible? How would someone do that?
I can't say why they're able to get that many out because I can't judge them because I don't know how they're doing it. But all I know is it's just not possible to do more than me. I mean, I'm really fast at this, and I mean I can send out 100 posts probably in an hour or hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's pretty incredible. And I'm just really good at looking for information and stuff like that to send out. I'm not trying to be a ham here because there's nothing. You guys work just as hard as I do, I'm sure. And but to get more information out there, and the thing is, I love to really quote tweet. I wish I could just quote tweet everybody all day long like Cat Turd. Mm-hmm. But I get no responses on my quote tweets. I mean, I get nothing on them.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's a rare occasion I do, but if I had my choice about it, I'd just rather let everybody else have the limelight out there and me just kind of sit back and show all the good stuff that everyone else has, to be honest with you.
And since you mentioned Cat Turd, I just pulled up his account. So he's had only 152,000 posts, which is less than yours. And he's joined, he was back since September 2018. So his is the oldest account, but in comparison to yours and Insurrection Barbie, he has the least amount of posts with the oldest account.
Wow.
Well, and you were talking a little bit about how you're quick and about finding content and reposting it. Well, I mean, if you're willing to share some of that, how do you do that? Do you have like lists that you use? Do you use different media sources or?
Yeah, I just use a variety, and I just use a variety. I used to be basically memes, and that's all I sent out was memes for a long time. But now it seems like people want to see videos more than the memes. But I enjoyed the memes. And, I did real well with the memes. But the videos, everybody wants to see the videos. And, we got some really good stuff out there. The thing is sharing it. I look at the bookmarks I get an incredible amount of bookmarks. And generally the bookmarks mean that the people are going to take those and steal it themselves and use it, which is good. It makes me happy to see people do that. Mm-hmm. I want everyone to share their information and to get it out there. That's what we're here for, is information. It's not about me, and it's about all of us, And if we hadn't got out there and did what we did for Trump, I do think that, we would have lost the election, even though it seems pretty incredible that we could have lost to someone that was, like Kamala Harris. I mean, good grief. Mm-hmm. This woman has no thought process, and she just like an empty suit up there and a clown. And she's a clown. I mean, she knew nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I agree with you 100% on that. And since you brought that up, well, first of all, let me take a brief break. If everyone that's on the space listening, please do retweet and share this space. And then also, if you have been demonetized by X, please do request the mic, and I will definitely give you the mic. And you can message me if I'm not responding for some reason, but I haven't seen any requests yet. But going back to Kamala, so Johnny, one of the things that Kamala was criticized for doing on X, and we saw it very specifically, was the use of bot accounts, and you would see these all these different accounts posting the exact same phrases, the exact same wording, in support of Kamala, maybe in response to something that happened, and it was pretty amazing to see. You see screenshot and have 20 or 40 posts from different users, and it would say exactly the same message. And, arguably you could say, okay, well, everyone reposts just exactly this, and you could do that. But then I've seen some where it's just way too much volume, and it's clearly some kind of AI or botting that's being used. So since we're talking about that, what is your thought on, are some of these larger influencer accounts maybe that are so prolific to the point that they're posting one post every 3 minutes, 24/7, are they using some kind of AI or program to assist them, or do they just have a team of 5 people posting for them?
I just, it'd have to be, you'd have to have a family of people just doing it all the time. And, this monetization thing hasn't been around but maybe about a year or a year and a half or something like that. So for them to get that many amount of posts out, that means they would have had to been doing that even though they weren't getting paid. You see what I'm saying? Because there's no way they could have, in a year and a half, they could have done all that. You know what I'm saying? So that means they had to have been producing this many posts all along. And but you are right about that. it does make me think when you start putting it like that that there's so many posts and in such short of a time, because I thought mine was pretty incredible. The amount of posts you just told me I had, I thought that was, I never really looked at it, but now that's a lot of posts.
Yeah, and oh, go ahead.
But I can't understand. I can't understand how you could possibly do that. It's almost like it's automated or something. I hate to say that, but it sounds like it could be automated or something, because I just can't figure out how you can put that many posts out there. I think I do too much, and the reason I have to do too much is because I can put 40 good posts out there and nobody will touch it, and I can throw just one certain post out there and everybody likes it. So I don't know which one it's going to be that everyone likes. I don't know what my audience wants to see, because it seems like it changes on me all the time.
Do you think that's changes in the algorithm, or is it truly the changing likes of the viewers, or is it hard to say?
I don't know what's going on. I know that Cat Turd had complained about the the algorithm and all the things happening with that. So many others have, but it sounds kind of silly, but I almost feel like it's someone up there in X that just has a grudge against certain conservatives, and they just go and take all your followers from you every day, and does this to you. Because even if it's an algorithm, think about it. How are like my followers? Okay, if I'm getting say 2,000 followers today, and only like maybe 150 unfollows me, and my follow count doesn't go up, what happened to those followers? It's almost like somebody's intentionally going in there and unfollowing people. And I don't know, maybe I'm sounding crazy here, but it just seems that wild to me, because I don't think an algorithm would go in there and start unfollowing everybody from you all the time, every single day, for months.
No, that's a good point. And I've seen other influencers and creators post the exact same thing. So I don't think it's a unique experience that you have. What do you think about the possibility that, there could be maybe some bad actors still at X? Some of the engineers, they're under the radar, but they don't like specific conservative accounts, or maybe they're, even government agents or something like that. And they've written something and they've put it into the algorithm, and there's definitely labels and flags on account. At one point, Grok would tell you what kind of labels you had on your account. It doesn't do that anymore, but I had 26 or 50 labels on my account. And I was like, what is this? What are all these labels? So, what do you think about the possibility of either the labels, or there's some bad actors at X? What is your thoughts?
Well, definitely we have bad actors on X, because it's run by someone that's a liberal. And I've never understood that. We need someone that's fair and balanced on both sides, but we keep getting people in there that's liberals running the thing. And yes, we do. We have all kind of agents, CIA, FBI, there's a lot of them that work for X. And we don't know if they're working directly in with the government or not. We see with Zuckerberg, that he claimed, he was getting all these calls and stuff, but I have a hard time believing that they didn't have FBI and CIA that's also working with them, because they want to know all the information about us that they can. We've got the NSA and everything else trying to find out every little avenue of our lives, and our iPhones send all the information from our phone to, their big servers somewhere. And we're just being spied on. And it's on a massive scale. Every single one of us, they know every single thing about us, and it's all computerized. And we're getting in this AI world, and I'm seeing some of these accounts on here that I think they're AI. Some of them that are making lots of comments on my posts and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, some of the stuff they're saying isn't like a normal person would say. And so I'm starting to see that, and I think there's some bot accounts out there that are actually doing that. I don't know if you call them bot, AI, but or combination or somehow.
Right.
And, but we're entering an age where it's just information, and we're being distorted. And the government puts out articles out there all the time, just wanting us to take the bait and look like a fool. And we just have to be careful about what we're doing. But we can never really know when we put something out unless we were actually there when it happened. Now, it's getting to a point it's hard to say. And these fact checkers they have here are definitely partisan. And I've seen so many good posts, and I've had a few myself, but they'll come in and they'll say one little thing and they'll add something you didn't say. And I think I'd seen them do that to somebody. Who was the other day? They went in and said something on his post, and he was like, that has nothing to do with my post. What's this about? But they just throw it on there trying to stop, I guess, creators from, getting a benefit from it, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. And then, there's something else I want to talk to you about, Johnny, but just as a note, I did see that 2 people did reshare the post and made some comments. I sent them the mic if they want to speak as well. One is Combat Weather, and I think R. Nedry or something. So we'll get to you if you guys pick up the mic. I did send you an invite. Please do share and repost this space. But so Johnny, what I wanted to talk to you about is there's a Department of Defense paper. Okay, so it's a 100-page paper by the Department of Defense, and let me find it and I'll read you the title of it. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, hold on, I'm scrolling through it.
Can you hear me?
What's that? Yes.
I'm sorry. Could you hear me? This is Combat Weather. My name is Jeff.
Hey, Combat Weather. Hey, go ahead. I wanted to give you a second to speak. Thank you for sharing the space. I know you had some specific questions, possibly for Johnny. Go ahead and speak.
I'm kind of fangirling right now, Mr. Midnight. I'm sorry. Your voice, though, surprised me. When I see your picture, I thought you would sound differently. But I am fairly new to this platform, and so I'm not even to the 90 days yet where I could monetize. But I'm having a lot of problems with followers, and I can't follow anyone. It says I followed too many people. Mm-hmm. Why is it saying that? You were saying something about your followers. Why won't it let me follow?
Yeah, I had this same problem several years ago. I actually had Twitter wouldn't allow me to have an account. They would hunt me down every day, find my account. Didn't matter if I used a VPN or whatever it was. They would hunt me down every day and delete my account. And this kept happening for like a month. And a friend of mine said, "Hey, I'm up in Canada. I'll make you an account." So you can actually come back to it,
right.
Because they wouldn't allow me because I had posted when they had done Trump so bad.
Yes.
I had about 3 good months of really putting some really great information, probably the best 3 months I ever had, and they just wanted to kick me off. But
they didn't want information, right?
Yeah, but as far as the followers, I had the same problem. I just had to get to the point where I had to give up following anyone because every time I did, I got a 3-day. And then after that one, it's another 3-day. And this kept going on, and I'm like, I can't enjoy it. All I get is 3 days from trying to follow. And I wasn't following many people. Like you said, I was following maybe 10, 20. And then I get that notice, and it's like, well, how's this happening? I mean, how's it everybody else?
It's hard because you almost have to do it that way, right? And when you're trying to build followers.
Yeah, you have to follow people to get people to follow you back. And that's the only way you can start your account out.
Okay. And then the other question I have is about the boost. What are your thoughts on that? Do you use it?
No, I've never used something like that. I do see it out there, but I've never even thought about using it. I thought it was pretty hilarious what they want to charge for it.
I did it. It was $20. Yes, sir. I did the $25 one. It used to be crazy expensive. Like you had to get that huge plan. But ever since the price went way up on Twitter to $50, you can boost a single post, and you can choose to do a $25 boost, a $50 boost, or a $100 boost, and it goes up from there. But so I did a $25 boost just to see. And boy, did it. It was amazing. But I can't boost every post, you know? But I really felt like what I had said in that post was important, and so I was willing to do it because, quite frankly, I don't know how, you know, I haven't had any luck any other kind of way getting eyes on stuff. So, but I appreciate your advice and you sharing all of this today. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it would be good for, you know, if you wanted to do something like that. But I would wait till you knew you had a really good post.
Okay.
If you were going to do that, I would make sure I had a really good post. And, you know, you already see maybe a little traction on already.
Yes.
And once you see a little traction on it, and you say, okay, well, it's moving. So maybe if I do a boost on it, maybe it'll go even further.
Okay. Thank you.
What about boosting a post that already got viral?
I don't know. I don't know how it would work.
It does work. I did that. The only thing that I didn't understand about it is it seems to me like the first hour a post is out, that's when the most people see it. Maybe, right? Or the older it gets, the less people see it. But I boosted an older post and it worked perfectly fine. It got like 27,000 views for the $27 or $25. So it does work, but like you were saying, obviously you wouldn't want to use it all the time. You'd have to use it very sparingly because those impressions don't count. It's not considered natural, so they don't count in your impressions. So that's the downside. But the upside is I did get some followers, so it just depends, I guess.
Yeah, it's just kind of, you have to do a little bit of everything, and you have to try to post a little bit of everything too. It can't be just politics. You got to have some other humor and stuff in there, and the animals or something. You know, something that shows some interest, you know, other than just politics. And some people give me a hard time over not just posting politics. But, you know, life's too short to think that it's always politics. You got to have something other than life than just politics.
Oh, I love your stuff. I always laugh. So I agree. Thank you.
Making people laugh is, you know, that's the best medicine. And we can use that here with all the things that are going on in the world. And we have to laugh at things sometimes because if we don't, we're going to become old and bitter.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Know, you've got a lot of people on here, Brian, that you probably should talk to. There's a lot of people on here that would like to talk other than me. So,
yeah, if anyone
hear their voices.
If anyone wants to request the mic, I mean, I could do some blind invites, but if anyone wants to request a mic, I'm happy to let you speak. All right. While we're doing that, I might do some blind invites too. So if please do message me if I'm not responding. But you know, you're welcome to request the mic. I'm gonna just invite a couple people to speak here.
You know, maybe you're right. Had some good points too. If he'd like to speak, I think he had some really good points when he was talking earlier.
Yeah, and that brings up something. Meteorite. Are you still there? Do you want to unmute? Because I know that you and Johnny may have had a disagreement at once in the past, and he just said that you had some good points. So, Meteorite, are you still on?
Yeah. I see that. I'm sorry. I did see that he asked me blocked, and I probably blocked him back. I don't know what our disagreement was, but you know, I'm sure it was probably my fault, so I apologize for whatever it was.
Yeah, I unblocked you. I don't know why we both had each other blocked. I unblocked you because I can't for the life of me remember what it was. You sound like a really nice guy to me, though.
You blocked him for a reason, though. You blocked him for a reason.
Yeah, but there's, you know, things happen, and sometimes in politics it's stupid stuff, and usually if it's a bad enough reason, it'll resurface eventually anyway. And if it wasn't bad enough, then it won't resurface eventually.
Wow, so it could have been a conversation like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Usually, if it's bad enough, I'll remember it. It could have been I said something about a public figure that he liked and I didn't like, or I I don't know. I'm a very opinionated person.
Do you remember someone you blocked?
You know what I was going to say is, I see people on here that have me blocked that I have never seen or heard from ever, and I just go ahead and block them back. And it may have happened in this case because people have me blocked, and I don't know why they have me blocked. I don't know if someone's put me on a list or something, or total lies. Sometimes there's gossip that spreads around here, and people go and block you in these rooms, and none of it's true. And
yeah.
So, but I'm glad I unblocked you as well, and you had some really good points. Let me just get off and let you guys talk. You guys got a lot of good things to say.
Yeah, and Johnny, before you go, Johnny, there's a website that you should look at, because we're talking about data and we were talking about bots being used on X and stuff like that. And there's a link to this Department of Defense paper, and it's called Improving C2 and Situational Awareness for Operations in and Through the Information Environment. And it's really crazy because it talks about influencing political outcomes through social media and using bots supervised by people. So it's a really interesting read. I'm happy to, if you want, I'll direct message you the link, but you should check that out. All right, I see that Andrew requested the mic. I'm going to add you as a speaker, Andrew. Go ahead, Andrew. You go ahead and speak.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the time. I'll be honest, I only hopped on X here after the Wisconsin Supreme Court loss and figured, might as well. I don't do any other platform, so I have not been demonetized. But I just wanted to offer, my 2 cents here, because I did, help start a newspaper in Wisconsin. And as somebody who has tried my hardest to stay off of social media my whole life, I just think there's so much more value to be offered offline. And I wonder if there have ever been any efforts to organize something like a conservative newspaper, because quite frankly, it makes tons of money. It's super affordable. Even our little operation, you're talking about a couple of guys just sticking around, and man, people are sick of donating money to the parties. They're sick of spending money on, things like the X premium and the check mark and all that kind of stuff. But, they'll shell out $25 a month for something like a newspaper.
No, that's a good point, Andrew. And I see that I already follow you. I don't know if we've discussed before, but, that's something I'd be interested in as well. I do have some experience, investigative journalism and reporting and writing. And I see that as something that's really been missing. I don't know if that's been tried and it's just been difficult to get, recurring advertisers, or if the paper gets, targeted or what the deal is. But I do agree with you. How would it work though? You're talking like physical, print, and online, or you're talking online only?
Well, you do both. It's a synergistic thing. Obviously, you talk about the articles in the paper, and it just kind of feeds on itself. But, you're not going to be the New York Times. Nobody's going to become a billionaire. But, I thought it's so crazy. If you named a conservative newspaper, yeah, you might say the Post, okay, not really. Maybe the Wall Street Journal, yeah, not really. But it's like the Epoch Times always gets brought up, and it's like the Epoch Times is owned by the Falun Gong. Like, it's not even as far as I know, and I could be totally wrong, but the Epoch Times is not even an American-owned paper. It's just Chinese nationalists trying to do their money laundering here in the States. And so it's like, you got to be kidding me that with all this, real-time, cell phone connected, nobody wants to start a conservative newspaper and have a go at it. I think it's low-hanging fruit.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt your... my brother owned a newspaper, and I worked with him on it for like 6 years. I'm in Wisconsin, but I have a bunch of information if anybody wants it.
Yeah, I think you should DM both Andrew and I on that. What that conservative newspaper, is it still running, or did it shut down?
No, so I'm sorry, it was not a conservative newspaper, but it was a newspaper. He also owned a magazine.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to get going, I know where he used to get his paper. You know what I mean? Like I do know that side of things. The paper was not a conservative paper, though.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you?
Like, I understand the logistics behind it because of that, but it doesn't apply.
Okay.
But I think a conservative newspaper would do really well. That's just not what kind of newspaper he has.
No, that makes sense. But if you can DM both Andrew and I that information, we'll follow up with it after this.
Absolutely. And Andrew, did you say you're in Wisconsin as well?
Yeah, I live in Whitewater.
I live in Adams Friendship.
Oh, very cool.
By the Ducks. All right, thank you. I'll DM y'all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Andrew, I think that. Oh yeah, go ahead. Okay, Andrew, I do think that's a good idea. And did you have anything else that you wanted to add on like censorship on X here, or any topics?
No, like I said, I don't have a lot more to add. I would point out though, Cheryl Atkinson just did a post today about the community notes feature and how ridiculous it is, and how she's tried to engage with it in an honest way, and even cases where she had firsthand knowledge of something, she would give it an irrefutable evidence, and then all of a sudden, like, it wouldn't go anywhere or it would get knocked down. So her post is basically like, community notes is being gamed. It's already useless. So it doesn't surprise me that there's an issue with the monetization.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I've heard a lot of that. I've applied, I think, 3 or 4 times for community notes, and always got to the initial stages and then never actually been approved to the program. So I always thought it was because of some kind of bias, because everyone can see I'm obviously like a right-wing MAGA, political guy. So clearly, I shouldn't be allowed into that program. All right, let's see. There's a couple other people that I did invite to speak. If you would like to speak, please do request a mic, and I'm happy to let you speak. Johnny, while we're doing that, I'm going to send you that link in direct message. This is that Department of Defense paper. I just sent it to you now. The link starts with Hand Count Roadshow, but it's a PDF that's uploaded there. You should check out that Hand Count Roadshow too if you haven't seen that before. But take a look at that when you get a chance. Let me know what you think, because there's a follow-up information on that, but it's pretty interesting. All right, so let's see. I don't think anyone else has requested the mic. I've invited a couple people. So we'll just open it up to the floor. We have a couple existing speakers. If any of the existing speakers want to add anything else, go ahead. However, I know you got something. What do you got for us?
Yeah, it depends on the topic. Do we speak of the revenue sharing parts of the politics, newspapers? It's different of the topic right now.
Yeah, I agree. We did get a little off topic. You're welcome to go back on topic, or if there's a related topic, if there's something about X or about communication in general.
I think it's cringe that we're doing this. People just trying to make money on X now. Like that's the whole purpose of being on X. I mean, we have Johnny. Sorry, I didn't hear. Did you get paused or not?
I don't think Johnny was paused. Johnny didn't. Oh, go ahead, Johnny. You can answer for yourself. Sorry.
Hello. What did he say? I didn't catch all of it.
Did you get paused?
Did I get paused?
Yeah, what is that, like the monetization program?
Oh no, I haven't. As far as I know, I haven't. But like I say, it could happen to any of us. And I've always just been a big fan of Twitter, and then now it's X. I've always been just a big fan of here, and I used to have some pretty decent size Instagram accounts, but I'd get maybe 10,000 posts. And then they would go and cancel my account for just no reason, just wipe it out. And, I got tired of trying to build anything there. And I haven't used TikTok. I may have put a couple little things on there, but never had much interest in TikTok. But I've just always liked this platform. It's always been easy to use, and and easy to motivate and to put the information. But no, I haven't been paused, but and I hope I'm not. But I hate seeing it happen to anyone. It really shouldn't happen to anyone unless they find out that you're running into an automated system that's doing your post for you or something. Because that should be happening. That's when you get into the AI and things of that nature.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Johnny. And that in a way, that's kind of what we were talking about before with some of these accounts that they post every 3 minutes, for the last 2.5 years. Clearly is automated, but somehow they're not being penalized for what is clearly a violation of the terms of service, but other creators are. So that is unfortunate.
Like I said, the revenue sharing program is not perfect because, like, it sounds ridiculous that you can just type some few words and then get paid for it. Like, it's a different type of how to get paid on social media. Like in TikTok, you have to create good content. YouTube, you have to create good content. But if you can just live by just asking a one-line question and people are just engaging with it because they got in this, we have to connect together and we are making this make money on X niche. People found a way to make money out of each other because we make money out of this premium subscription. So we just taking money in a pool and just spread them out together, and some people lose, some people win. So it was not perfect. So that's why many people got paused, because we have to short the people from that actually can create good content from people that don't know how to get good content. For example, Johnny, I looked at your video. I see that your top video pinned is a 13 million impression video. I remember I saw this video 2 years ago, and so it's an old video, and this video is all across the place on all different social medias. And in X, you can just post a video that is 5 years old that got millions of views back then and make money out of it. So that is literally the game right now. Just make a post like this. So X is trying its best to not let this happen to the platform.
When I put that out there, it was the first time I'd seen it. I didn't know how long it'd been out there, and it just really kind of hit me about the message it was sending. The old guy really cared about his dog. But you're right. There's sometimes, and that's what I'm saying. It's really hard for me to tell what people are gonna, go with. I did a post on Greta when Trump walked by her, and I guess it got 16 million on that one. I mean, I've got a bunch of others that have got, a lot more than that one that you're talking about. But it's hard to tell. And sometimes the old post, just like the one where Trump was telling everyone, not to go January 6th and not to make any trouble at the Capitol. I did one of those, and this was way after it happened, and it just took off. So it's really hard to say what's going to hit people at the right time. And but you have to see if, the one person we were speaking with earlier, if you see something really doing good and you want to boost it, that's the time to do it, is when you see something doing really good. And it doesn't matter if it's old or if it's new. It's just, sometimes it's good to bring some of the oldies and goodies and the gold back and throw it out there and remind everybody, about where we've been, and we know where we're going, and try to focus on it. But it's good to see some old stuff as well. And I guess I'm a little nostalgic myself. So I love seeing some of the old stuff, really. And I try to put some of that out. I'm sorry, I'll let you guys go ahead and keep talking here.
No, that's all right, Johnny. And wow, it's amazing how that it rolled off you. I wonder if anyone's ever criticized you and it didn't just roll off you. That's funny.
Yeah, actually, I did have something. I had Cat Turd block me recently.
Oh yeah.
And that bothered me for about 10 minutes, I guess.
Does he still block you?
Yeah, he blocked me. Someone had told him that I had stole their post,
And actually, I had took it from someone else off of Instagram, and probably that person probably got it off Instagram as well. I don't know, but that one person, so they kind of like ganged up on me and tried to say I was stealing this little guy's post, and my post was a little bit different than that one. Not much, but it was a little different. And I just took exactly what I'd gotten off Instagram and used it because it was from a friend. And then they say I know they're putting their block list together because they say that I stole his stuff, and I'd never even heard of the guy before. So I didn't steal the guy's stuff, but they went and blocked me and did all that and told and I was like, well, nothing I can do about it, and it bothers me a little bit because you're spreading a lie. But I could understand them maybe thinking that, but I definitely didn't get it from the guy that was claiming. And plus, that guy I think was bitter because I'd seen in my suspect box that he was trying to get me to go in and repost his post. And I guess he got angry because I did, and that's when he went and spread whatever it was to Cat Turd and got him to block me and badmouth me, I guess. But that's not the first time Cat Turd blocked me. He blocked me before, but I thought it was really hilarious because Cat Turd stole my stuff all the time. He would steal my stuff and put it on there, and he even quote tweeted me a lot. But he would steal my stuff and put it on his. I mean, I'd post it, and 3 minutes later, he'd post it, and I would just laugh about it. But here I'm being criticized for something he does all the time. And but I don't hold no hard feelings towards anyone. You can't hold hard feelings here, and if you do and hold grudges, it's not going to help you. And you just got to move on and do the best you can.
That's a good point. Good point. Thank you. And then I see that Percy has the speaker now. Percy, you requested, and you've got the mic. Go ahead, Percy.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I don't know anything about these spaces things, but I've listened to several of them. And somebody invited me to speak, so I thought I'd get on and say hi. I don't know how to use it. I've been listening to different spaces. I don't even know how it works. But thanks for the invite.
Well, you're welcome, and you're doing great. So keep going.
Well, a little bit about myself. I'm 75 years old. I was a postman for 52 years. Retired now, living on 11 acres in western Shawnee, Kansas. A lot of work to catch up on here after being busy for all those years. But I'm a conservative Christian. My whole thing about life is we were made by God for His purposes, and I do a little bit of posting about that. Read a real interesting book called The Age of Radiance by Craig Nelson. Talked about the founding of atomic energy, nuclear bombs, and that sort of thing. And there's a guy in there they nicknamed him Pope because it takes so much faith to believe that matter and energy are two different forms of the same thing. So that's kind of been my hobby of late, to talk about that, share the Lord with people. I appreciate you asking me to get on. First time I've ever done it. I don't know anything about spaces, but I have noticed that it's come up on my phone several times with different people and different subjects, and never been invited to speak. So thought, well, I've been invited. I'll say something.
Well, excellent, and thank you for doing so. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because I hadn't hosted one until just recently myself. But if you download the X app, you can host your own space, or you could work with. There's a lot of people that will help you host spaces. So if you did want to share a message about anything about your faith, or just anything, you can do that through the X app. You can also hook up with someone that has hosted spaces before, and they could show you how to do it. And there's probably a video on YouTube too that'll walk you through exactly how to do it. So I would encourage you to do just that, and then before you know it, you'll be hosting your own space, just like you spoke for the first time. Next, you'll be hosting your own space and talking to people about whatever topic you want. So it's a good thing, that the free speech and the communication, and that's kind of why we're here. And the topic of this space is, some people, unfortunately, they were getting monetized, they're getting some revenue for being creators, they've been paused. Some of them did not break any rules or anything like that, and so there's a lot of concern over that, and what's going on with X. And we hope that we can keep it as a free speech platform and continue to communicate freely. But certainly there appears to be some issues with their monetization program, at least for some accounts.
Well, that's interesting. Well, is there someplace I can go and read about this whole system?
There probably is. I would suspect there's probably a number of blogs out there, or on YouTube you could type in a beginner's guide to X, or beginner's guide to hosting spaces, some specific topic like that, beginner's guide to hosting spaces on X. Probably for you, probably like a blog, or just a search on YouTube itself, or I prefer Rumble over YouTube, of course. And then I usually don't recommend people to use Google, but you could Google it, or you could use a browser called Brave, and Brave Search, which is very similar, but it's more privacy focused. It doesn't have some kind of the negatives that around Google. But yeah, you should be able to search and find that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you have trouble, just send me a message. I don't know if you've sent people messages on X before, but if you send me a message, I will respond to it. So yeah, just let me know if you have a question or two, and I'll try to steer you in the right direction.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and God bless you, sir.
All right. Same to you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else who wants to speak? I think there's a couple other people that joined. I'm going to offer them the mic if they want to speak, but please do request it. And if anyone else wants to speak on either this topic or a related topic, then now's your time. Go ahead.
One thing that go ahead.
I was just going to recommend to that last gentleman just to try the Grok right on X. Try the Grok program and ask Grok about spaces too. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'm not sure if he's familiar with Grok, but that's one of the options. It's usually above the message, and right now it has a circular symbol kind of with a line through it, and you can ask it questions, it'll answer it. But Andrew, were you the other one that was trying to speak at the same time?
Yeah, again, this is just one of my observations, having come onto this platform only a couple weeks ago. I grew up on talk radio. I grew up on, and in fact, talk radio has had a huge influence on Wisconsin politics. Southeastern Wisconsin, they talk about the WOW counties. Well, those are counties covered by a big stick called WISN that had Rush Limbaugh and Mark Belling and Mark Levin and Hannity still, and even at one point Michael Savage late at night, although they quickly got rid of him once he started talking about voters' language and culture. So, for me, this platform in Spaces is revolutionary. And when I talk about like the newspaper having like a synergistic kind of a thing, I envision that as being something like Spaces, and we saw during the pandemic, for example, there was an app called Treehouse that became very popular. It was audio only. People weren't able to connect in person, so they hopped on that, and there were some good discussions. I never participated. I'm kind of a curmudgeon, it took me this long to join X, and I stayed off of Facebook my entire life up until a couple of years ago, and then I quickly got off. So there's something about this format, and in particular how without any kind of rules, there's still civility, and there's still a good flow of information, and you still get something out of it that you can't get out of like a grok or a tweet or a 30-second looping video. So who knows what X is doing? I mean, I do agree that it's not all about money, but when you look at how YouTube does live spaces and they have super chats and there's a way to monetize live conversation on that platform, X may be thinking long term. How do they, if there becomes some kind of way to do cryptocurrency and micropayments on X, and maybe it's a wallet too, and God knows what else Elon wants to do with it. They got to try to think about that and integrate it into the current tech stack. So by pausing the current monetization, it sucks, and there obviously isn't a lot of good communication. But for anybody that has tried to call the telephone company and ask why their bill was too high, it's like, you're in the phone business, but you suck at communication on the phone. It may just be a version of that, but I think the future is bright. Spaces is a great platform. I can only see it growing bigger. And who knows, maybe, like I said, there's going to be a way to tip people and high five somebody with a sat or a dollar bill or something like that. So I don't see any reason to fret, but the lack of communication does suck.
The way you said tip people is kind of like the same thing they have on TikTok, sending those flowers. If you understand that.
I don't, unfortunately. Again, I try to avoid as much social media as possible. And who knows? I mean, maybe TikTok does go away and you get an influx of people on this platform or another, and so they may try to mold it and give them features that they're familiar with.
But this platform is not designed to 13-year-old girls. So
No,
the whole interface. So TikTok will of course have its place, and X will have. X is just for the adults.
Yeah, I would say that X is definitely for adults based on the number of porn bots that are going around. So I think so. I did want to point out, Andrew, you were talking about the tips. The X does actually have tips. If you go to my profile, for example, there's a little cash icon, or it should say send tip or something like that. Let me see how it looks on another profile. Actually, hold on. Let me double check
for
this.
Sure, I see that. I'm looking at a profile right now with that, but no, I'm thinking about something for example, I can do a thumbs up or a heart or a 100%, but I can't send a Satoshi. Now, a Satoshi is one millionth of a Bitcoin. It has practically no value, but it does have some value. And I know that Elon does want to monetize. He wants to make this into what PayPal became. So I think it would just be as quick and easy and addictive and impulsive as that. Just being able to send money. Who knows? I do know also that didn't he just sell X? I mean, X got sold to his AI.
Yes.
So again, I'm not at the upper echelons of corporate America, but a transaction like that is going to come with a bunch of hiccups and a lot of where's all this money going? How do we account for it?
What?
Who knows?
Spaces, have you heard of that before?
Yeah, I agree. And then also to your note, you were just talking about the tips. On mine, for example, you can configure it for actually Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it links to your wallet. And then I have Venmo in there. So in a way, it does do that, but it hasn't been configured for the specific cryptocurrency wallet that you're speaking of, but it could be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It does make sense. And I'm speculating 100%. So,
you seem to be pretty accurate when you're speculating. Everything you said is true.
Well, this is, again, this is an outlet where, somebody, look, I follow the news 24/7. I've been involved in politics for, almost 25 years now. And yet the funny thing is there is no outlet for somebody that knows what they're talking about. So these platforms are still valuable. They're not going away. I mean, anybody that wants to make money is not just going to shut up all the people like myself or you that, they're like a dog with a bone. They got something to say, and they're not lying. They're not trying to, defraud anybody. That's valuable. So, I get the notion of like this doesn't all boil down to dollars and cents. It's about information. It's about sharing. It's about community. I get that 100%. But this is still, a free country with the First Amendment, and information is going to be monetized one way or another.
Yeah, that's a great point. And Andrew, I do just have to comment. Have you ever got that your voice sounds a little bit like Richard Dreyfuss?
Dreyfuss, really? No, I've never gotten that one before.
Okay.
I like him. Although I can't think of a movie he's been in off the top of my head. I think What About Bob? Wasn't that Dreyfuss?
Let me see. Let me look. What About Bob? Let me look. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong actor. No, that's Richard Dreyfuss is in there, I think. Yeah, he is.
That's a good movie.
Anyways, I just was thinking your voice maybe was the inflection, but I did see that there was another account that requested the mic. They're reconnecting. It's LPS 3-in-1. So LPS 3-in-1 is reconnecting, so they may not be able to speak. But anyways, while they're reconnecting, Andrew, you should come on my podcast though sometime, and we should talk about various things, including Wisconsin politics and stuff like that. Let's see. I guess the 3S-in-1 dropped off. I'll invite a couple other people to speak. Again, if you want the mic, please do request it, and I will give it to you. This space for the most part has been pretty cordial and gone pretty well. People don't know that in the spaces that I host, if there's a problem, I'll mute everyone and demote people back to listener. So they must just know to behave themselves. But yeah, I don't know if you've been on some of those spaces. Some of them can get pretty crazy sometimes. All right, looks like that person dropped off. So no one else is requesting the mic right now. I did invite a couple people, but if anyone else wants to speak, we probably got a little bit more time. I'm probably going to cut off shortly and make some dinner for myself. But before I do, any I guess closing thoughts, anyone?
Not even a little bit.
You didn't have any closing thoughts, not even a little bit? Is that what you said?
Not a bit.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Where are you located, Hoover?
I live in Denmark. I know. Guys, relax. Okay, I'm not like we want to get Greenland or something, guys. Don't want to talk politics on this. Okay, I'm not I know I'm surrounded with Americans, but I'm not the politician type of guy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, that makes sense. I've actually visited Denmark once before for holiday. Really beautiful country. A lot of water everywhere.
On summer or winter?
I was there in the summer. So, well, I don't know if it was the summer exactly. It probably was the summer because there wasn't a lot of snow anywhere. So it probably was the summer. But we did get a little bit of rain, but it was pretty nice. And I forget all the cities I visited, but basically we just kind of did a general tour and we were in the countryside a little bit. So really liked it. Really, really good. A lot of outdoor, fun kind of activities and events with the kids and stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Any closing thoughts? LPS 3-in-1. I want to give you the mic again because I gave it to you before, and then you had to disconnect. So I'm inviting you and I think Billy Rainbow to speak if you'd like to. You should get an invite shortly. But anyone else closing thoughts?
I would just say that it was a good job on the space. It's very productive, and I hope that the best for all the people that
that lost their monetization.
Never know exactly, but we'll see.
Yeah. Brian, you should definitely gather some information.
Mm-hmm.
Like in this next week, gather some information, give some news, and make a news space and talk about the news about this demonetization.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely can. I will follow up with that. So please do, everyone. Make sure to follow me. You can follow me on X. I do a podcast as well, which is magamindpodcast.com, and of course brianference.com. So please do follow me. And if anyone else has any other comments, go ahead. Doesn't sound like it. All right. Well, I wish everyone a good evening, or in Denmark maybe good morning. I don't know what the time is there right now.
Around there.
Okay. Good. Well, to everyone, and I wish everyone a good upcoming weekend as well. And God bless. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining this space.